Today is about desire. What's going on in you today? What are you desiring? So I thought I'd call this talk, How to Make Your Desires Work for You. Because there's a lot of desires that may not work for you. You getting that? What do they say? In the Hindu religion or the Buddhist religion, they try to eliminate all desire. It's a fascinating thing. They try to eliminate desire, but guess what? Trying to eliminate desire is the desire to try to eliminate desire. So they're desiring to eliminate desires. They're desiring not to have thoughts, but they're having thoughts. So can you eliminate desires? I think not. Infinite intelligence, call it God, did not intend for us to ever be fully satisfied. Can you get that idea? Can you really wrap that around you, that the infinite intelligence that's present right within you right now did never, ever, ever, ever intend for you to be fully satisfied? Because then what would you do? Oh, you would sit on your Chase Lounge or in your lazy boy, you'd have your beer, and you'd be watching football every day. We understand that desire does not reign rampant over there. Now, that was a man thing. Now, women, I don't know what yours is. I'm going to make something up. Every day I could start my day with a mani-pedi. Every day I could get a massage. Every day I could be at King Spa. I could be pampered. My husband will bring me flowers and chocolate and all of that stuff. And oh my God, my husband will, or my partner will listen to me today. So let's go on. It's our divine nature. In fact, it's not only our divine nature, it's our DNA to seek an ever, ever expanding experience. That's why we're always called to look for something more. That's why the second we get a new car, let's say you're driving a Porsche, you're driving that Porsche down the road and it's brand new and it's looking good, it's feeling good, and then goes right past you this Bentley convertible. And you look at the Bentley convertible and all of a sudden the Porsche don't look like nothing because that was a Bentley. A new desire is automatically rebirthed. The question is the desire going to serve you? What is it? Raymond Halliwell said, when one good is realized, another desire for an even greater good will develop. I think that's really key to understand, is that the second something that you've dreamed about is fulfilled, there's something within you that creates the next version. So you may have dream 1.2, then what happens? Dream 1.3 comes. Because it's always about using the creative power within us. So let's just stop for a second and go back to the basics. There's an infinite intelligence that's everywhere present. Call it God, call it spirit, call it infinite mind, call it whatever you want to call it. But it's infinite. Being infinite, it means it's in all things, as all things, created all things out of itself, because there was nothing for it to create out of. Therefore, everything is an expression of it, and therefore the power that it is resolute, is inside everything that it created, meaning that we, with conscious mind, can use that power by creating our beliefs. We create a new experience. Jesus said it so clearly. It is done unto you as you believe. That's all he ever said that was of value. You don't have to believe anything else that Jesus ever came in. Just believe the idea it is done unto you as you believe and prove it for yourself. Find out that, does that work? And then what you find out as you examine it with no filters is very clearly this, is that your life is a demonstration of what you believe consciously or unconsciously. And so we don't to have guilt about it, because most of our lives, because we're not aware, has been created unconsciously because we have bought into the nonsense that everyone else has fed us. My mother fed me nonsense. My father fed me nonsense. My church fed me nonsense. The politicians, God, they feed us real nonsense. Oops, no judgment there. Everything in society is trying to get you to believe something. Every commercial on TV is trying to create what? Desire. Every human being, when they ask you what they want, they're trying to create a desire that you will fulfill their desires. And you see, that's where our relationships get mucked up, because I'm not here to fill your desires. I'm here to fill mine. My wife is not here to fill my desires. She's here to fill hers. Now, if we happen to coexist and we enjoy filling each other's desires, that's a good thing. But it's not the only thing. It's not necessary. Partnership is about support and growth. My desire for my relationship is to have a partner who supports and grows me as I get to expand in ways that I've yet to even imagine. That makes me want to stay in a relationship because I have a partner that supports me in that. And I support her in the exact same way. No conditions. Do your desires control you, though? Or are you controlling your desires? This is where we get Joneses, addictions. Whether it be to food, to chocolate, to beer, to whiskey, to drugs, to sex, to porn, to exercise, to you name it. We have addictions that are everywhere, and we have those addictions because we're not controlling what we desire. Our desires are controlling us. And those desires have not really been predetermined by us. We've allowed ourselves to be controlled by desires that we've never chosen, and we become addicted to fulfilling desires that not even are the core of who we are. Now that's the greatest fallacy of all, isn't it? And then when we wake up, we go, how did I get here? And then we're so far down the rabbit hole, we wonder, can we come out of the rabbit hole? And the answer is yes. But the answer is yes because it starts with a single thought. And that single thought has to be built on and another thought and another thought and another thought and another thought. And one of the things you realize as you're taking students into this journey of self-discovery, you realize that the students in a particular class, whatever it is, will want that result instantaneously. And guess what? It doesn't happen that way. You got to where you are because you have a lifetime of thinking the way you think. To change how you think is going to take work. That's the process, and that has to be built every day, multiple times a day, and we call that using our daily spiritual practice. Meditation, affirmations, prayer work, visualization, visioning, gratitude work, those tools where you are consciously looking at what you desire. Conscious desires are born out of the hierarchy of our values. So I go back right to the very core of what Dr. John DeMartini teaches, and that's values. Because I understand that what makes you and I different, what makes you and I unique, what makes you and I different from everyone else on the planet is the hierarchy of our values. How are our values prioritized within ourselves? If you haven't done the values work and know what your values are, you're lost. There's no other way to say that. Because you have to really sit down and you have to be honest. This is where my values are. So my values have slightly altered. My number one is spiritual self-actualization. My number two is teaching and speaking about how to better self-love. My number three is learning about human behavior. My number four is building intimate relationships and spiritual community. Health and well-being is my next one. And then building financial freedom to be able to be financially free to do what I want, when I want, how I want. And the number seventh one now is traveling the world and experiencing new cultures. So when I live my life now, I basically say, does this support those values? If it doesn't support it, I'm not doing it. If someone wants my time and it's not supporting those 7 values, I'm not giving my time. I am taking control of where I put my energy, and my energy is based on what do I desire most, and my desires are based on what I value the most. And each of you has different values. But you got to know them to start. That's the basis. That's home plate where you start off. So I'm going to walk you through the process. You got to first know the hierarchy of your values. Once you know the hierarchy of values, now you build desires. You consciously are building desires in your life. And these desires, you'll know they're real because they support your values and you feel them. You really feel them. It's not an intellectual exercise. And that's what happens so many times is that we have these intellectual exercises going on. And it's not intellectual. It's about the heart. It's about feeling. What is it for you? Once we have our desires, now we've got to put our focus. We've got to put our mental, our ability to think, our ability to speak, our ability to act, our ability to feel, all in alignment with the desires that we have now chosen. Once we've got our focus, now we've got to develop this thing. This is a tough one, gang, self-control. You've got to focus yourself on controlling yourself to live to your focus, to live to your desires, because it's part of the hierarchy of your values. This is where there is mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical discipline. You can't just go woo-woo out there and float around in the clouds. You can't just go to this workshop or this modality or that modality and expect anything to change. You'll have great experiences. They're wonderful experiences. They can be illuminating experiences. But you got to come back to the work. Because until you change the overall mental atmosphere or the belief structure, no matter what you do, you will return to the way you were before. And then you got your outcome. If you do all this, you have an outcome. What happens now? You start all over. Because as you grow, as you become more aware, and that's what this really is. This is a process of becoming more aware. It's not about becoming different. It's about becoming more aware of what really exists in you. You're becoming aware of the hierarchy of your values. You're becoming aware of the conscious desires that are yearning to be brought into you. You're becoming aware of where you're putting your focus, thoughts, words, actions, and feelings. Where are you putting that emphasis? And then you're becoming aware of how do I control myself as I do these things? And then I might add, under self-control, there might be a B part. That if you mess up, it's okay. Do you hear that? If you mess up, it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up for it. You just restart. It's like a spiritual reboot. When you are aware enough and you can realize, oh, I fell off the wagon. Okay, spiritual reboot. I just start over again. No need to beat yourself up. And this is where we get stuck. We beat ourselves up over and over and over again. Why? I try to ask that question. Is there a God out there judging you? You are led to believe that, but that's not the truth. How could an infinite presence that created everything out of itself, meaning that you are that infinite expression, how could it condemn itself? It can't, because it gave itself perfect freedom. And it created a law of cause and effect so that as you put out, you get back. There's no punishment for what you do. It's automatic. It's the law that comes to you. So there's no punishment. There's always just cause, effect. Cause, effect. And once you start to realize, you say, okay, wait a second, all these effects are coming, wait a second, where's cause? Cause is me, right? It's my desires, it's my focus, it's my self-control. I'm birthing that in me. Then we got what? 100% personal responsibility. And there is no greater power in your life than to know that the power to create your life is right here with you right now. You have that ability in you. So you don't have to turn outside of yourself. You don't have to go out and tap into your partner and say, you've got to save me. Or you don't got to go to other parts of the world and say, I've got to find my Jesus. You don't have to do that, because where's your Jesus? It's in here. Where's your Krishna? It's in here. Where's your Buddha? It's in here. They were just enlightened masters. They were human beings just like you and just like I. We've got to come out of the illusion that someone ever reaches enlightenment. No one ever reaches pure enlightenment. They wouldn't be in human form. They wouldn't have the human ego. We have tried to anthropomorphize God. In other words, create God in our image, in man's image. In fact, it's not women's image. We've created God in man's image. Why have we done that? Because the patriarchal type of view of society is the one that created all these religions. The women had nothing to do with this, thank God. But they've got to stop following the crazy men out there and start leading from their hearts and help the men open their hearts that have been blocked for so long. Because men are taught from the time they're born to hide your heart, to hide your feelings. It's not okay to show your feelings. It's not okay to want what's something that society doesn't want. It's not okay that you don't fit into the corporate machine. It's okay to be an artist. It's okay to be a musician. It's okay to be a poet. It's okay to be a writer. It's okay to create new things. You were not born to fit in. You were born to shine as a unique light. Think about this. Without desires, your life has no purpose. If you wake up in the morning and there's no desire for you to go after, why get out of bed? That's why desire is our DNA. It's our God DNA. It's our God DNA because it gives us purpose. It's a unique purpose that only we can feel. And when we have that purpose, we live a life that is just illuminated, that's on fire. We can't wait to get up and do that. But you see, you've got to go back and you've got to understand there's a process involved. You have to determine your values. You have to understand your values. You have to know your values. You have to memorize your values. And you have to ask the question, is the next thing I'm going to do, is it supporting those values? If it is not supporting those values, you learn the greatest word in the whole self-love movement, and that word is? No. Amen. You got it. No is the most powerful word that you can learn. Say no to that which is not you. Say yes to that which lifts you, to that which makes you whole, to that which makes you unique, to that which makes you perfect, just as you are. Tonight, I ask you to go home. I ask you to dream big, to open your heart and let whatever's been hidden in here come out and let yourself feel what you desire to express and experience. You are worthy. It's what you were created to do. Let's pray.
I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wolak. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.